Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, Andy here. I coach men and women on living lives of abundance and joy. If they can all do it, you sure as hell can too. Let's give out a little bit of free coaching today. I got this comment from someone who was very brave to admit all of this, and I'm sure a lot of you feel exactly what this guy is feeling. He says, interesting video. Actually, I assume it's a man, but it might be a woman. So this person says, interesting video. I have an issue with comparing myself to others and just hating them because they are better than me and then blaming them for all my problems. One of my main struggles is applying to jobs in the software engineering industry. I have a belief of not being good enough and that no one will hire me, which causes me not to apply. I have applied in the past and done interviews and just ended up getting rejected. I have some friends and family in the industry and I ask for referrals and help, but for some reason I just hate them because of jealousy about them having a career and me not. I try to stay away from LinkedIn and CS or computer science subreddits because they make me feel like a failure due to seeing posts about people getting a job or flexing about their career. For some reason, I just want to cut everyone out of my life and be alone because I don't want to think I am a loser, and I just don't want to compare myself to them. I sometimes also have an ego of wanting to be better than everyone and making them jealous. What is wrong with me? So nothing is wrong with you. Welcome to the human condition. A lot of people feel incredibly jealous and sad and full of grief and anger and all of those sort of, maybe we'd say, less productive emotions. And then they turn that on other people and that can become hate. And then they turn that on themselves and that can become feeling like I'm a loser or feeling like I'm not good enough. But as for what is wrong with you, nothing. Your entire post can be summed up in self-hatred or self-judgmentalism. You're very judgmental towards yourself, and that's okay. A lot of people are. But everything you've written here will start clearing up a little bit by bit, when you start working on the self-love. So what I would love to see you start doing before I go through and answer, the bits of your post, I would love you to pause this video right now if you're watching, and anyone else, by the way, who can relate to any of what this person's written, pause the video right now, go look in the mirror, in the bathroom or bedroom or whatever, look into your own eyes, and just try saying, I love you. That's probably, for you in particular, going to be quite confronting, and all sorts of thoughts and voices and stuff like that will come up and you'll be like, fuck you, I don't deserve to love myself, piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. But we're just starting this process. And then I want you to do the same thing tomorrow and make a promise to yourself that even if it's a little bit of a challenge, and it will probably be a little bit of a challenge for you, maybe, who knows. If it's a challenge, do it every day. I have done this exercise every day for the last 2 or 3 years at this point, and it's been literally life-changing. What I would then love to see from you and anyone else who's in this same sort of feeling or same sort of situation, get out a piece of paper and start writing down a list of things about yourself that are likable or even lovable, but you might want to just start with likable. Literally start writing down all the reasons why you are allowed to not feel like a piece of shit. Because right now you're very, 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 very self-judgmental, and that's okay. A lot of people are. You even end this entire, comment by saying, what is wrong with me? That's self-judgment. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just a human being who's feeling a little bit jealous, and jealousy can be quite ugly. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. I know you think that you are. It doesn't mean you're a horrible piece of shit who's hating other people and bad, bad, bad. No, it just means you're a human being who's feeling a lot of feelings and telling a lot of stories in your head. There's so many stories here, and we're going to start breaking them down in a minute. But it just makes you human. You're not a bad person just because you're jealous. You're not a bad person just because you hate other people. You are a person who is going through a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of pain. And there's a really good saying, hurt people, as in hurt people, hurt other people. And so you're going through a lot of pain, which is causing the jealousy and all of that to come up. And so what I'm going to do here in this video is we're going to go through bit by bit everything you've written, and we'll start maybe shining a light, or the light of truth, the lens of truth, onto some of what you've written, because There are a lot of assumptions in everything you've written. There are a lot of false stories. You've said a lot that's like literally not true. And so, what we're going to start doing is inserting a little bit of truth into some of what you've written here. But for you in particular, I would go and grab a copy of the Play to Win video course. There's a link down below in the description of every video. You can pay whatever you want for it. It's basically pay by donation. You can even just pay me $1 if that's all you want to pay for it. But I would absolutely go through this video course because I can absolutely tell you have not watched the video course. You don't have a copy of it, or if you do, you haven't read or watched any of it, because everything you're saying in your comment, and by the way, really good job being so vulnerable, but everything you're writing in your comment is answered in the Play to Win video course. Particularly for you, the chapter, everything is a story and you're in control of the stories that you tell. So we're going to sort of answer everything you've written and reflect it back to this concept, especially because you've told a lot of stories in this post that are literally not true. And so we're going to get in there and just see if we can maybe find a different way of looking at some of what you've written here. So I have an issue with comparing myself to others and just hating them because they are better than me. Okay. They are better than you. Is that true? Who judges that? Do you judge that? We've already established that you're very emotional. You're in a very hurt state of mind. You are going through a lot of emotional pain. People who are under those circumstances are not very rational. You're definitely not going to be a very accurate or objective judge of other people or yourself. You are very self-critical. You've already admitted that you're or that you're judgmental and critical of other people. I don't trust you, and frankly, you probably shouldn't trust yourself to be a judge of who's better or who's worse. Like, you're just not accurate. So you see how we're starting to play around with some of the stuff that you've written, and as we keep going, you're going to see that almost everything you've written is just the most negative and judgmental and harsh, least charitable view you could take of each thing that you've said. And again, people who are going through a lot of emotionality, which is a lot of you listening, people who are very hurt or in a very low place in your life, you're just not fucking rational. And what's funny is you think that you are. You know, when I was very, very depressed and suicidal back when I was 16, 17, 18, I literally thought that my view of the world and other people and myself was accurate. I actually thought that I was rational by thinking the world is a shit place and everyone's out to get me and literally everyone hates me and blah, blah, blah. I had all these paranoias and stuff, and I literally believed that they were true. I would walk outside and literally believe that everyone out there was looking at me and judging me and secretly talking about me. Literally, I had paranoid thoughts. I was literally a paranoid person, but I thought that I was accurate. I thought that I was being rational. You couldn't have convinced me in that moment that I wasn't being rational. And so the same thing here. And for a lot of you, you're in a place of a lot of pain. You feel very hopeless. You feel very defeated. You feel angry. You feel jealous, all sorts of emotions. And you think that your view of the world or other people or yourself is accurate. It's the really fun challenge of being a coach or doing this content is you guys and girls will come to me with preconceived notions about yourself and other people in the world and blah, 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 that are just flat out fucking wrong. They couldn't be more inaccurate. And it's really fun for me to be like, is that true? And you're like, yeah, of course it's true that I'm a piece of shit and other people are better than me. Of course it's true. And it's like, is it true though? Let's play around with that. Can you give me a couple of reasons why you might be better than other people? Or why they might be on the same footing as you? Who even judges who is better or not? Are you in a rational state of mind right now to be an accurate judge of who is better, blah, blah, blah? Do you think that people who are happy even think in terms of this person is better than me? No, they just see other people as their fellow human beings. They don't judge. They take that sort of Buddhist or Jesus from, the Christian Bible mindset of everyone is my brother and my sister. I'm not going to judge them, blah, blah, blah. And so I love playing around with these kind of concepts, and it can be a little bit hard for you to do yourself when you're in such an emotional, struggling state of mind, which this guy or girl clearly is. A lot of you clearly are. But yeah, who even says, to get back to the point, who even says that these people are better than you? I say all the time Because a lot of you will compare yourself to me or my coaching clients when I show a testimonial from them, and you'll judge yourself and say, well, Andy's had all this sex, he's making this money, he seems happy, blah, blah, blah. He's better than me. And I will say time and time again, I'm not better than you. I just know a few more things than you. Or I'm not better than you. I'm just a little bit further along in my self-improvement. Or I'm not better than you. I just started my self-improvement before you. I've been self-improving. I mean, technically since the day I went to prison when I was like 20, but I've been really hardcore working on my self-improvement since like 28. I'm now 37. I'll be 38 this year. So fucking 9 years I've been working really hardcore on self-improvement. Like it is all I think about from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Like 9 years of going hardcore with that. Have you been working hardcore? It is all you think about 24 hours a day on your self-improvement. Have you been doing that for 9 years? Probably not for most of you. So I'm just earlier than you. I just got started before you. I'm not better than you. I'm just earlier than you. And so the same thing with these other people that you're comparing yourself to. They're probably not better than you. That's just one story that we can tell. It's a pretty shit story because it makes you feel like shit. So we can tell the story that these people are better than you. And that probably just leaves you feeling exactly what you're feeling in everything you've written here. Hopeless, sad, angry, pissed off. Or we could tell a story that they're not better than you. They just probably started before you. Or they don't have as many emotional hurdles to overcome as you. Or they probably don't have the same levels of hopelessness and struggle and self-hatred and judgmentalism and all the stuff that you're currently struggling with. They probably don't have all of that to deal with. And so they're not better than you. They just don't have all of this shit in the way. Like when I say all this shit, I mean everything you've written here, all the emotions you're feeling. Imagine if you just didn't feel all of these emotions. Do you think it would be pretty easy to go and work on, getting this job? Yeah, it'd be fucking a walk in the park. You'd be like, hey, can I have a job? Thanks. I appreciate it. I can't wait to start. Like it would be easy mode for you. And that isn't to use the emotions as like an excuse or a barrier to entry, but it's context. When you say you are or someone else is better than you, and this applies to any of you that do the same, where you compare yourself to others and say, they're better than me, you're missing all the context. My very next question to you is, tell me the details of their life and your life. If we're going to compare, let's be accurate. I want you to go through their entire life and systematically, piece by piece, write down every fucking variable that they have to deal with, every variable that you have to deal with that they don't, every struggle that you have that they maybe don't have. I want to know all the context. It is such a bullshit story to be like, this person's better than me, and I'm not going to give any fucking context of how they're better than me or what their life circumstances are or my life circumstances. I'm just going to say they're better than me because they have more money than me. That's like cherry picking one fucking metric or one fucking variable and saying, I'm going to cherry pick that one variable and say this person is better than me. That's not rational science. That's what I mean when I say we're not rational, when we're very emotional, which you clearly are. And again, that's okay. It's okay to be this emotional and this hopeless and negative and judgmental and all of that. But we're just not fucking rational when we're this emotional. We're really not. You're missing all context. You've cherry picked one fucking metric to measure yourself by and compare yourself to the other person, discarding every mitigating circumstance or context or how they got to that position. Did they have a lot of people helping them? Did they have the hopelessness and the sadness and the depression and the anger that you're feeling? Maybe they just had less shit to deal with, and that's why they are currently working in the industry you want to work in. So let's be fucking fair to you. And again, that's not to make excuses and say you can't change. Of course you can. That's why I'm doing this video. But accept the current circumstances, accept where you are right now. Your entire post, and any of you that feel jealousy or anger or frustration, you're not accepting reality. What is the reality of it right now? You don't have a job. You have a big, feeling or a lot of feelings of like emotionality, anger, judgmentalism, and all of that. Let's start processing that. Let's start working on the self-love. Let's start getting you to believe in yourself, because yeah, you're not going to get a job with your current mindset. Like, that's just obvious. I think you know that. I think part of you knows that with the level of negativity that you have right now and the judgmentalism towards yourself and other people. yeah, you're probably not going to get a job anytime soon. So I would be working on that. That is your first baby step. By the way, any of you that are like this level of like self-hating or judgmental towards yourself and others or any of that, if your goal is like dating or something, whatever your goal is, yes, if you're like this level of self-hating and hating others, I would work on that. In other words, I would work on building a positive mindset. Again, that's what this is for. How I built a winner's mindset. Literally, it is a course on building a positive mindset. I would also go out and grab a copy of this book ASAP. You can't afford the luxury of a negative thought. It is literally a book on having a more positive mindset and like reconfiguring your brain to be more positive. I would watch this video, Jealous or Insecure, How to Fix It for Good. And this one here, I feel jealous when I see a hot guy with a hot girl. So you can just search on my channel for the word jealous. I would absolutely watch this video on my channel. So just search for the word optimist or depression. And it is how I went past or overcame my depression and learned to be an optimist. In other words, I literally talk about how to build a positive mindset from the depths of hell. I was literally wanting to die every fucking day, blah, 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 blah. So I talk about how to build that beautiful positive mindset. So that is what I would work on. I would work on your self-love. I'd work on building a positive mindset, the same as any of the rest of you out there who are struggling with these same sort of feelings and beliefs of like not being good enough, whether it's dating, business, getting a job, losing weight, it doesn't matter. If you really fucking hate yourself and then you project that out onto others and you hate other people, you're going to have a really tough time of like dating. You're probably just going to accidentally hurt a bunch of people that you go on dates with. You won't mean to. But like, I wouldn't encourage anyone who is in like this state of hyper emotionality and hyper self-hatred and hyper judgmentalism. I wouldn't encourage you to go out and like start talking to girls or something. I would say spend 3 months working on your self-love, working on learning to like yourself. I'm very happy to help with that. If you want to come to the coaching, we've helped a lot of guys and girls work on their self-love. But I would say work on that mindset before you go out and talk to people and like go on dates and stuff, or before you apply to jobs. You can do both at the same time, but when you're like this level of like anger and jealousy and self-hatred and judgmentalism, without even meaning to, you're just going to self-sabotage every fucking opportunity you get. Like you really won't even mean to do it. And it's not even self-sabotage. It's more like self-protection because you're so scared of fucking up. You're so scared of not being good enough. You're so scared of other people being better than you that the second you get any sorts of opportunities, you will just like push them aside. You'll say, I'm not good enough. I can't have that. I'm not allowed that. You'll push aside anyone who likes you. You'll push aside anyone who wants to give you a job. You'll just be like, no, I don't fucking deserve that. I'm a piece of shit. Don't give that to me. So it's like self-protection, or we sometimes call it self-sabotage. But yeah, I would work on the mindset. And again, none of this is to make any of you feel bad about yourself. My mindset was incredibly negative. I was literally depressed and suicidal. You can watch that video that I mentioned before. You know, this one here, how I beat depression and learned to be an optimist. You can hear how negative my mindset, or I talk through how negative my mindset used to be. So it's okay. I promise you can overcome it. But that is what I would work on first. All right, let's keep going. So you go on to say, one of my main struggles is applying to jobs in the software engineering industry. I have a belief of not being good enough and that no one will hire me, which causes me not to apply. So you're very self-aware, and I love that about you. It's one of several things that I can already tell you're really, really, really good at. So remember I said, write a list of 50 things about yourself that are likable. The number one is you are incredibly fucking self-aware. Holy shit. Like, you know everything that's going on in your brain. You probably don't realize that some of the stories that you're telling are false. And that's kind of what I'm trying to help you with here. Like, you think that you're accurate when you say it. People are better than me. I'm not good enough. Like, you believe that story. So there's a little bit of work we could do there on working on your self knowledge there. But in general, you're really self-aware. So that's number one. Put that on your list of things that are likable about yourself. Number two, you're incredibly fucking brave. I can't imagine how much courage it took you to write all of this, knowing there's a decent chance that I read this out in a video. You're incredibly brave and courageous. So that's number two. Number three, you clearly want to improve. You clearly have ambition. Those are two more things. So there's 3 and 4. We're now up to 4 things about you that are likable. Number 5, you're clearly very intelligent. You're very eloquent. So there you go. There's like 5 and 6. You see how quick and easy it can be to start writing down things about yourself that are likable? You probably just haven't ever thought to do that because you're probably so fucking entrenched in your belief that you're a stupid piece of shit who's never going to be good enough, that you probably never checked to see if that story was even correct. But there are so many things about you that are likable, so many reasons why someone might want to hire you. Again, I'd work on being a little bit more positive each day, and I'd spend maybe, I don't know, 1 to 3 months. So spend the next 1 to 3 months working on your positivity, your self-love, all of that. Again, I'm right here. I can help you with that. If you don't want to join the coaching program because maybe you don't have money since you don't have a job, throw $200 at me and I'll sit down with you for a couple of hours on a coaching call and we will go through this shit and I'll help you see that there is a lot about you that's likable. But yeah, you're incredibly self-aware, man. So I love that you say, I have a belief of not being good enough and no one will hire me, so that's causing me not to apply. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what a lot of you are doing, and it's normal. Like, this is just what the brain does. My brain does the same thing, or wants to. When we think we're not good enough, we don't even try, or we half-heartedly try, or we try and then someone goes to give us the thing that we want and we say, no, like, it's okay. Like, we feel guilty accepting it, and we're like, no, like, she probably doesn't really want to be with me, so I won't text her back. Or these people probably don't want to give me a job because I'm not good enough, so I won't even apply. Or I'll apply and then they'll say, hey, we loved your application. We'd love to do an interview with you. And you go, nah, like they're probably just going to not hire me. There's other people they'll hire. I won't show up to the interview. Or I'll show up to the interview, but I won't prepare. Because what's the point in preparing? I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to put a lot of effort into applying and then preparing and going all the way there and dressing nice and thinking of what I'm going to say. And then I just get disappointed. So I won't do that. And so that's what I mean when I say self-sabotage, but it's more like self-protection. We're just scared of getting rejected. We're scared of getting hurt. So we don't try, or we only half-heartedly try. The number of people that come to my coaching program, or those of you in the audience that will say, I've been trying to meet women for a long time, or I've been trying to get a boyfriend, I've been trying to go to the gym, I've been trying so hard to lose weight. And I'm like, that's amazing. I love that. Like, what stuff have you done? And then you say, I've talked to like 10 women in the last year. And it's like, I love that. That's incredible. Let's give you a pat on the back for that. But 10 in a year is like, you're not going to meet anyone. Like, you got to talk to 10 women a week. 10 women a day would be even better, but let's start with 10 women a week. Or, I've been trying so hard to lose weight. Amazing. What have you done? Well, I went to the gym for about a month and then I stopped going. It's like, great. That's amazing. That's incredible. That shows you that you are capable of doing it. But we got to get you in the gym. Like, you got to do that for a year or two. And you got to be out there, like, going for a walk every day and, either go on the keto diet or count your calorie. Like, we got to do something a little bit more than just, I went to the gym for a month and then I quit. And so a lot of the time we think we're doing a lot. And you get credit for it. But there's always more you can do, especially when it comes to consistency. So, yeah, it's funny how self-protection works. And then we tell ourselves a story of, like, I'm never going to get laid, or I'm never going to get a boyfriend, or I'm never going to lose weight. And it's like, but you're not following the instructions. You're not taking the action. And you go, yeah, because why would I take action? Because it's not going to work. And it's like, no. It won't work if you don't take the action. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to take the action because it won't work. And it's like this weird circular logic that our brain falls into, kind of like you self-awaredly have said here. I have this belief of not being good enough, so I don't apply. And it's like, you definitely won't get the job unless you apply. And so part of this is a leap of faith and basically saying, what bad thing happens if they say no to me? You have this big fear right now of them saying no or getting, quote, rejected. And there is no rejection. They just hired someone else. They didn't say no to you. They just said yes to someone else. It's not a fucking rejection. It's definitely not a rejection of you as a person and whether or not you're good enough. They just hired someone else. There's probably 100 people applying. They only pick one of them. They didn't reject the other 99. They just picked that one. Instead of looking at it in terms of a negative, look at it in terms of just being fucking rational and neutral. They just hired this other person. Okay, cool. They can't hire everyone. Statistically, it's probably not going to be me. That's why we play the numbers game. So eventually it is you. Anyway, that's a separate topic. But you're so busy right now, and so many of you do this. You're so busy saying no for these places. Bro, it's not your job to say, You might not be a bro or broette. I don't know which gender you are. It's not your fucking job to say no for these companies that are hiring. The same as any of you that are going out there and hitting on women, but you're like, she probably has a boyfriend. I shouldn't go and hit on her. She's too hot for me. I shouldn't go and hit on her. She'll probably just say no. Stop being a fucking misogynist and let her say what she wants to say. Stop assuming that her answer is going to be no. Stop putting words in her fucking mouth. You know, we live in 2025, the age of fucking feminism and equal rights and shit. Women have a fucking right to say yes or no to you. Stop saying it for them, you fucking big old misogynists. I'm obviously saying that as a joke. It's my favorite little joke to make. But yeah, when you're saying no for someone else and not letting them say no or yes for you, you're literally just putting words in their mouth. And so you're kind of doing the same thing here, my friend. You're saying, I bet you these places will say no. You don't fucking know that. And then your evidence for that is, yeah, but some of them said no in the past. Yeah, this is a fucking numbers game. Do you know how many times I've been, quote, rejected? And again, there is no rejection. They just said yes to someone else, or they said no to my offer. They didn't personally reject me as a human being. You're taking it as a personal rejection, as if they fucking declared you a big piece of shit and you deserve to die in a hole somewhere and you're pathetic. No. All they said was, we're not going to hire you. That's it. We're not giving you a job offer. We don't have to. We're under no obligation to give you a job offer. We have to give it to someone, or we want to give it to someone. We have a hell of a lot of applicants. We didn't reject every other fucking applicant. We just said yes to the one that we gave the job to. So it's not this big fucking deal. Anyway, the point is, you're saying no for these people. You're not even giving them the opportunity to say no for you, or to say no to you. You get what I mean there. You're putting words into their mouth. What will really blow your mind is if you just played the numbers game, there is some threshold, some number of approaches or some number of applications, I guess, that you would do where someone would eventually say yes. Like, think about this. If you applied to 10 million jobs, which I know is absurd, you probably don't have enough time to do that. But if you were somehow able to apply to 10 million jobs, don't you think just fucking random chance, one of them would say yes? Obviously. And so there is some number of applications that you will do, even if you suck at the applications and you suck at the job, someone eventually will be so fucking desperate to hire you that they'll say yes. But what you are doing is saying, a few people in the past said no when I self-sabotaged anyway, and my heart wasn't really in it, and that's okay. You were doing your best, it's okay. But a few of them said no, so I should just fucking not even bother. No, there is some fucking threshold that you get over where one of them eventually says yes. The same thing as approaching women, like hitting on women. There is some number of women that you will hit on, no matter what your attractiveness or your weight or your height or your age. If you talk to enough women, one of them will like you. How do I know this? Well, because I've been fucking coaching people for years. But I've worked with guys that felt like they were a complete hopeless case. I've worked with morbidly obese guys who were like, there is no way any woman on the planet would ever give me the time of day. And then guess what? They sleep with like 2 or 3 women in their time in the coaching. And they go, what the fuck? Why is this woman sleeping with me? I'm unconfident. I hate myself. I have erectile dysfunction. I'm morbidly obese. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too short. All of this shit. Why did she say yes to me? And I'm like, I don't know. Why didn't you ask her? Ask her why she said yes to you. And they do. Sometimes they're brave enough to say, hey, I'm just curious. Like, why did you say yes to going on a date with me? Why did you sleep with me? And she's like, because I like you. I think you're interesting. I think you have a good heart. Whatever the reasons are. They're reasons that the guy wasn't able to see himself. And so you don't realize this right now. But there are things about you that are likable. There are things about you that are hireable. I told you, you're intelligent, you're courageous, you're brave, you're very self-aware. You're very ambitious, clearly. You want to improve this. You're desperately seeking answers. These are pretty decent qualities to hire someone for. You probably have a degree. I'm assuming so. You know, if you're in the software engineering industry, you either have a degree or you know how to code. So there you go. That's a reason someone would hire you. They don't need to hire the best. They just need to hire someone. And through sheer fucking statistical random chance, if you apply to enough jobs, it'll be you. And maybe you weren't even the best candidate for that job, but fuck it, whatever, they like you. Or fuck it, whatever, they just want to hire someone and they weren't really paying attention and they accidentally hired you. And maybe you're not good enough for that job, but who gives a fuck? You got the job anyway, just work there. The same thing happens in dating. So many of you think you have to be Mr. Alpha male Chad, fucking God, big dick, legend just to have any woman sleep with you or date you. No. Sometimes literally just the fact that you are willing to talk to a woman is more than enough. And she's like, wow, you're so brave for talking to me. And you're like, but I'm an ugly fat piece of shit who's bald and old and short. Why are you sleeping with me? And she's like, I don't know, because I was fucking lonely and you were the only person that talked to me. Like, you were the only person who said hi to me. No other guy has said hi to me, so fuck it. I slept with you and I'll date you. That's why. So I think a lot of you have this notion that you have to be perfect. No, that is missing the very first formula or step in the success formula that I talk about, which is one, give yourself permission to suck. A lot of you, and this person writing this comment, which again, good job sharing all of this. You're very brave. But a lot of you put on all this pressure or put all this pressure on yourself to be perfect. I'm not fucking perfect. What makes you think you have to be perfect? You don't have to be the most handsome or the tallest or the cutest or the prettiest or the most interesting. You definitely don't have to be the best at computer or software engineering. You don't have to be the most capable. You don't have to be the most competent. You just apply to a lot of jobs and one of them says, fuck it, I'll hire you. And you go, why did you hire me? And they're like, I don't know, I fucking liked your shirt or something. Like, there'll be some random fucking reason or multiple reasons they hire you. And you get the fucking job and you work there and you do your best to be grateful for it. And even if you feel like a big imposter, that's okay. That's how a lot of people feel when they succeed at something, especially something they thought they weren't good enough for. And so you don't have to be the best. It's okay that other people, or that you feel like other people are better than you. They might be. Like, there are so many guys that are better looking than me, have a bigger dick than me, more money, more Lamborghinis, more fucking cum in their balls, all of that shit. They're way better than me. I don't need to fucking be the best. In fact, I even wrote an article about this over on my blog. You can go to killyourinnerloser.com and just search for the word best. It's called, Am I the Best a Girl Has Ever Had? And someone asked me this question 5 years ago. I'm worried that girls might have been with a guy that was better than me in the past, sort of thing. Like, how do you feel if you know you're not the best that a woman's ever had? And I literally wrote this article saying, there is no way in hell that I could ever be the best that a woman has ever had. But why do I need to be? Why do I have to be the best she's ever had? Why can't I just be good enough for her right now? What's wrong with that? So the same thing here. You're looking at all the people that are better than you or that you think are better than you. Some of them might be. But you don't have to fucking be the best. You're just being good enough to get the current job that you're applying for. And again, you apply for a ton of jobs and one of them says yes. You might not be the best person they've ever had there. You might not be the best person they could have gotten. I'm not the best person that every woman could sleep with. I'm sure lots of them could do better than me, but I'm the one that's standing in front of them in that moment going, hi, you're cute. Would you like to go on a date with me? And she goes, fuck it. Yeah, you're here right now. Why not? It's such an odd thing to think that you have to be the best that a woman has ever had or the best that these people have ever hired. No. Think about it in terms of your own life. Think about the people that you might have slept with or the jobs that you might have worked at. Was each job the best job that you've ever worked at? No, that is literally impossible. There can only be one that's the best, maybe a couple that are equally best, right? There's only a set amount that have been the best job that you've ever worked at. What about people you slept with? Can every single person you fucked be the best person that you've ever fucked or give you the best experience? No. There's only going to be one, maybe a couple if they're equal, that were the best you ever slept with. And so it is literally fucking insane to think that you have to be the best for someone else or the best that they've ever had or hired. That makes no sense. Every woman or guy that you slept with wasn't the best that you ever had or ever could have. And you still slept with them. Why? Because they were good enough in that moment. And so your mission is not to be the best. Your mission is to be good enough for that person or that company in that moment. They might even fucking tell you that you're not the best person they've ever hired, but you're good enough for that job role. You're good enough for that moment in time. They could maybe even do better than you. They don't give a fuck. Sometimes people are acutely aware that they could do better. Like each person that I sleep with, yeah, no shit, I could probably do better than them if I went and hit on a bunch of supermodels or something, depending on what metric you care about. Or a bunch of girls who are like super ambitious and like would push me and motivate me in my life and be a great addition to my life. Of course I could always do better if I went out there and talked to people who are better. But there will always be someone that you could upgrade to. Same as a job. There will always be some hire that they could have made that would be better. But they have a fucking job role to fill. and a set amount of time that they want to be searching for a candidate for, they don't have the next fucking 5 years to go out there and interview literally every potential candidate. They only have, I don't know, a week, a month, depending on what the job is. And so, yeah, they're just going to take the person that's good enough and hopefully they can train them and make them better. That's something else to think about. You don't have to walk into these jobs being better than all the people that you're comparing yourself to. They've probably been working these jobs for a long time or a decent amount of time, and working a job makes you better at the job. No shit. And so you don't have to be as good as them. That's what the job is for. They will fucking train you. And just by working the job, you will accidentally get better. Obviously, practice makes perfect. The same thing with dating. Any of you who are like, but what if I'm not the best guy that she's ever slept with? Or what if I'm not the prettiest girl that he's ever dated? It's like you can work on yourself in the relationship. And you don't need to do that from an insecure place. Do that from a loving place where you go, hey, can you give me some ways that I can improve? Like, tell me what I can do. I'm working on myself. I want to improve. I want to be the best that I can be. Do you have any suggestions? Like, what can I work on next? Give me some ideas. Can you help me? Can you keep me accountable? You can say this to any jobs that you go into. You could literally walk in there and say, or in your mind, or maybe you can even say it out loud, I know I'm probably not the best person that you've ever hired, but I'm fucking keen to learn. Can you guys give me tons of feedback? Help me. Imagine if every job interview you went into, if they end up not hiring you, imagine if you email them and say, can you give me one piece of feedback of how I can do better for the next one? And you're constantly upgrading, learning, evolving so that eventually you get to a point where you're fucking God tier, or at least just decent at applying for jobs, at doing the interviews and all of that. Like right now you're saying, I applied to jobs, I didn't get them. Yeah, see, this is proof I suck. Okay, if you think you suck, why don't you fucking get better? Why don't you ask, can you help me? The same thing for all of you in dating. If someone goes on a date with you and doesn't want to see you again, say, hey, that's dope. I'm on a mission to improve. Can you give me maybe one thing I can work on or improve? Because I want to get better. I want to get better with women or men or whatever. I just want to get better. Can you help me? This is something I used to do. I still do it every now and then. I would do it with coaching clients sometimes and say, hey, can you give me one thing I can do better? But in dating, I used to do it with every person that didn't want to sleep with me again or didn't want to go on a second date with me or whatever. I'd say, that's amazing. Can you please give me some feedback and tell me what I can do better? And then I would just use that. And sometimes you take that feedback with a grain of salt because it is just one person's feedback. But if you keep hearing similar things over and over again, that's what you work on. That's probably a good pattern, or it's probably showing you there's a pattern. So same thing with these interviews. We coach a lot of guys and girls in the coaching program on how to get jobs, especially in software engineering and computer science. Like a bunch of you are nerds and a bunch of our coaching clients are nerds, probably because I'm a nerd. And so we coach a lot of people on this. And one of the things that we tell all of them is every single interview where they don't hire you, email them afterwards and say, can you please give me that one bit of feedback? I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for doing this. Can you give me one bit of feedback? And most companies will give you decent feedback because it's literally their job to hire people and to know what to look for. And so they'll give you fucking good feedback and good information on how to do better. And some of them will fucking appreciate you for asking because I've interviewed people. I've done the hiring for a couple of companies that I used to work at in retail, like supermarkets and grocery stores and shit like that. And I am telling you, my favorite part of it was when someone was like, can I have some feedback? Because then I'm like, wow, now I don't feel guilty saying no to you and not hiring you because now I can leave you with something that will improve you. So you're getting something out of this interview. It wasn't just a waste of time for you. So you'll find most interviewers or recruiters actually appreciate you asking for feedback. People do in dating too, because most people feel bad if they don't want to see you again or if they turn you down. They feel a bit guilty. And so if you say, that's amazing, I love that you're so honest with me. Thank you for saying no to me. Can you give me one thing that you think I could do better? Because I'm trying to improve and like it would mean a lot to me. Like I'm literally on a path to improve. And they'll go, cool, this person's not taking it in a bad way. They're not being butthurt. And I can give them something to help them. Wow, now I don't feel like a bitch or an asshole for breaking up with them or not seeing them again. So people fucking love the opportunity to give you feedback. And it's really obviously useful for you because then you get to improve. So even if we accept your premises that other people are better than you, now that they're better at computer science or software engineering than you, great, ask for feedback from them. and improve and realize that you don't have to be the best. You're just aiming to be good enough. The same with all of you who are working on your dating. You do not have to be the best that someone has ever slept with or dated. You just have to be good enough for that fucking moment. And if you feel insecure and like, I'm not good enough, why are they sleeping with me? Why are they dating me? Then just improve. Like, get with them and improve while you're with them. All right, you go on to say, I have some friends and family in the industry. Amazing. Imagine if you asked them for feedback. Okay, you said I asked them for referrals and help. Ask them on how you can improve, and they'll probably tell you, work on being more positive. That's probably what they'll tell you. But what I would suggest is they're only going to be able to give you good help and good advice if you tell them the full story, if you tell them the whole picture, or give them all the pieces of the puzzle. So everything you've written here, copy paste this to them. Or if you want to, you're very welcome to. Show them this video that I'm recording right now if you want to, if you're comfortable. But I would copy paste everything you've written here to them, because then they'll be able to see your mindset and how you're struggling and how you feel jealousy. And if you're able to say to people, my brain is telling me that I hate you or that I'm jealous of you, I don't want to feel like that. Can you please help me? Most people will fucking help you. They'll feel a little bit of an ego hit of you saying like, I'm jealous about you or I feel hatred. But then they'll realize that you don't want to feel that way. And they'll help you with that. And they'll go, okay, I didn't know you were jealous of me. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, let's help you with that. I don't want you to feel jealous. I want you to be able to have a job like I have. And now that I know that you're jealous, I can help you. But they won't really be able to give you as good help if they don't know how much you are struggling with self-hatred, jealousy, judgmentalism, etc. Because they'll just think like, oh, this person just wants to get a job. Yeah, I'll just give them referrals and tell them what to do. They don't know that your sticking points or your struggles or your hurdles are your mindset. So you'll need to tell them everything you've written here. And you'll probably find that some of them give you some really good advice. And they can help you work through this jealousy and this hatred and all of that stuff. So yeah, I would open up and tell people. You can start with little baby steps. If you're not comfortable copy pasting everything you've written here, that's okay. But I would maybe just start with a little baby step and be like, hey, can I be real with you? I sometimes feel a bit jealous that you have this job and I don't. Sometimes I really struggle with that. And I think sometimes I beat myself up and I think I'm not good enough because you have a job and I don't. Like, do you have any advice for me? Do you mind if we talk about it? And most people will, especially if they're your friends and family, man. They love you, so they will talk to you about it. All right, you're going to say, I just hate them because of jealousy. Yeah, jealousy is a hateful beast. Like, that's what jealousy does. It's not you that hates them, by the way. It's your jealousy that hates them. It's the insecure ego that hates them. It's not the higher self. It's not the real you. You know, you are not your jealousy. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are almost like this extra extraneous thing. And so rather than saying, I hate them, no, the higher you doesn't hate them. The higher self actually loves them and appreciates them. That's why they're your friends and family. It's the jealous small self. It's the ego, which you didn't even choose to have. Like, did you choose to have an ego? No. Did you choose to be jealous and have jealousy? No. So it's not you. It's just some feelings that you're fucking feeling. But if you stop identifying with the jealousy and just notice the jealousy and say, that's just the small part of me. That's the jealous part of me. It's the little animal instinct inside of me that we all have. So it's not even you. It's not even personal. It's the jealousy and the ego that we're all born with. It's not even your personal fucking ego. It's an ego that we all share. We all have the same brain chemistry and the same brain wiring. We just have different personality traits and blah, 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 blah. But the ego and the jealousy is not you. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. You're way above that. So notice the jealousy, but stop identifying with it. So you're going to say, I try to stay away from LinkedIn and computer science subreddits because they make me feel like a failure. So if you were my coaching client, I would get you to start rewriting this story. This would be the exact example of this chapter of the Play to Win video course. And again, I really recommend you grab, like you in particular, but anyone else who's feeling jealousy or any of these same feelings, absolutely grab a copy of the Play to Win video course and go through it, like absolutely. But especially this chapter here, everything is a story and you're in control of the stories that you tell. So you probably don't realize you're doing this, but you're going on LinkedIn and you're going on these subreddits and you're saying, I am a failure because they have a job. And so I would start, again, if you were my coaching client, I would get in there and say, is that true? Can we come up with some reasons why you're not a failure? why they're not better than you just because they have a job. Like, they just have a fucking job. That doesn't mean they're better than you. I have a red shirt. Maybe you don't have a red shirt. Does that mean I'm fucking better than you? I have a fancy microphone. Does that mean I'm better than you? I right now have a cup with fucking Diet Dr. Pepper in it. Does that mean I'm better than you? Look, here's a fucking green blue water bottle that I have. Does that mean I'm better than you? No, they just have a fucking job and you don't. That doesn't mean they're better than you. They just have something you don't. You probably have a bunch of shit that they don't have. And imagine if they compared themselves to you. There would probably be some of them that would compare themselves to you. I'm sure a lot of people who are not as self-aware as you would give anything to have this level of insight that you have into your own brain and how it works. There are a lot of people that live in poor countries that would fucking give anything to be in your country right now. And they probably feel jealous of you. And that's probably not something you've ever considered, but there are a lot of people on the planet who would be very fucking jealous if they ever met you. And you might say, well, that's just arbitrary. They're just making bullshit reasons to compare themselves to me. Like, yeah, they might live in a third world poor country where they have no money, but like, that's not a reason. I'm not better than you just because I'm in a first world country. Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make. And so you are literally just picking random fucking bullshit. Like, they have a job and I don't. Therefore, they're better than me. What a fucking arbitrary positionality that is. That's just some shit you pulled straight out of your ass and you go, they have a job, I don't, they're better than me. All right, maybe you have a bigger dick than some of them. Does that mean that you're better? Lots of people would say yes. Maybe you have hair. I clearly don't. Does that mean you're better? Lots of people would say yes. You are literally better than me because you have hair and I don't. Assuming you do have hair. If you don't, that's fine. Or you're a man, I don't know what gender you are, but if you're a man, some people would say that means you're better. Or if you're a woman, some people would say that means you're better. Like, people just pick arbitrary, random fucking positionalities and then judge others and themselves on those random, arbitrary bullshit positionalities. That's what the judgmental brain does. That's what our humanity does. That's what humans do. They look at the person over there and they go, you're a different culture from me. All right, I'm going to go kill several million of you. You know, Hitler and the fucking Nazis will go, all right, you subscribe to the Jewish faith. Okay, so how many tens of millions of you should we kill? Let's try and wipe all of you out because you literally just read a fucking different book to us. Jesus fucking Christ. If anything is going to tell you that this shit is arbitrary bullshit, random, made up crap, wars and fucking racism, you're black, so therefore you're bad. It's like, what the shit are you on about? You're a woman, so therefore you're not good enough. Well, actually, I'm a woman, and you have a penis, and I think men are not good enough because they have a penis. It's like, I'm having a fucking brain aneurysm at how random and arbitrary and judgmental this shit is. It reminds me of my fucking high school and younger days at school when people would be like, ha ha, you have red hair. And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, ha ha, you're a loser. And I'd be like, explain. Maybe it's my fucking autism flaring up, but I'd be like, explain to me why I'm bad because I have orange or red hair. And they'd be like, ha ha, he has red hair, everyone. And it's like, we all know that though. Like, you've stated a premise, but you haven't given any evidence as to why. I'm definitely fucking autistic there, but you've said like, you have red hair, so therefore you're bad, but you need to back that up. You've just stated a hypothetical, but you haven't actually explained anything. So you are doing the same shit. You're like, these people have a fucking computer science degree and a computer science job, so therefore they're better than me. What the fuck? It's so arbitrary. It's like literally as arbitrary as saying, that person's black, so they're bad. This person's a woman, so therefore she's a sack of shit. Or this guy's short, so therefore he's a bad person. I have no hair, so therefore no one will ever love me. All of these positionalities are so fucking nonsensical, childish, immature, naive, innocent, sweet, and cute. That's what we're all being when we fucking draw these arbitrary lines in the sand. Again, if you want more details about it, this chapter is about the arbitrary lines in the sand that we draw. We go, I'm going to tell this story. You're black, so you're bad. It's like, bro, that's just a story that you're telling. You have a computer science job and I don't, so therefore you're good and I'm bad. What the shit? That's just a bunch of fucking made up shit. It's arbitrary as fuck. So yeah, if you were my coaching client, I'd be fucking having so much fun playing with some of your arbitrary bullshit stories, and I'd do it in a gentle way. But Yeah, I go on these computer science subreddits and these people are better than me and I'm a failure because they have a job. No, they just have a job. All right, is someone that's had a threesome better than you because they had a threesome? Again, is someone that's drinking Diet Dr. Pepper right now better than you? And you might go, that's silly, Andy. That's just a soft drink, Andy. It's just a fucking job, bro or broette. It's no more silly than this fucking drink. I have this drink. Look, oh, it's delicious. I'm better than you. It has no calories. I'm better than you. That's what you're being like when you go, these people have a job and I don't. Oh, they're better than me. No, they just have a job. If you want the job, go and get the job. You might have some hurdles to overcome with your negativity, like work on being more positive and all of that. Just take the steps. I will help you with that in coaching, or you can pay me $200 for a coaching call. Grab the Play to Win video course in the other book. You can't afford the luxury of a negative thought. Work on this shit. But they've just taken some steps that you haven't. They're not better than you. Again, if you wanted to drink some Diet Dr. Pepper, you would just walk outside, take the steps to wherever they sell this, and you would buy it and you would drink it. You would just take the steps to do it. You wouldn't be like, Andy's better than me because I don't have Dr. Pepper. No, you just shut up and go and do the steps. So the same thing here, my friend. You just haven't taken the fucking steps to get the job. Or for any of you listening, you haven't taken the steps to get the girl or the guy. You haven't taken the steps to lose the weight. You just haven't done the thing. In the same way that you haven't gone outside and bought the fucking can of Dr. Pepper, which is no big deal. I know you think it's a big deal. It's fucking not. It's go apply to a bunch of jobs and work on your self-love and work on being more positive, and eventually one of them will say yes. Work on being more honest and vulnerable like you have here, but do it with your friends and family, and some of them will help you, and then you'll find it easier. Pay me for coaching if you want. That would be easy mode compared to you doing it by yourself. But it's just taking these fucking steps towards the thing that you want. All right. Finally, you finish up by saying, I sometimes also have an ego. Congratulations, everyone else does too. That's okay. What is wrong with me? Nothing. Nothing. You're a human being. You're going through the jealousy and the ego and all of that like most human beings experience. There's nothing wrong with you. You just believe a bunch of shit that's not true, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Most human beings believe a bunch of shit that's not true. I have systematically gone through basically everything in my fucking head, like autistically going, is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Is that just a limiting belief? Is that limiting belief true? Is it really true that I can't do this? Is it really true? Like I've just literally explored everything over the last like fucking 10 or, okay, technically since I was depressed. So like 17, 18 years. But we're all born believing our own bullshit. You just believe your own bullshit, but there's nothing wrong with you. You're just believing a bunch of stories that aren't true. So I promise there's nothing wrong with you. I promise you're doing a good job. Look how fucking brave and incredible you've been by opening up about all of this. If you want more help with this, you know where to find me. I'm right here. I have those $200 coaching calls. I also have the coaching program. Any of you that are in the same sort of like jealousy or feeling like you're stuck or feeling like you're not good enough or any of that, I'm right here. I can't say this enough. I've made my coaching so fucking approachable for the vast majority of you. There's the coaching program and there's payment plans for that. And if you can't afford that, I have the $200 coaching course. And if you can't afford that, I have the Play to Win video course for pay whatever you want. It's basically everything in my brain I've put out into a video course. So all of that is there. I'm right here for you. The rest of the coaches are here for you. But I promise for every single one of you listening, you are absolutely capable of achieving your goals. You're absolutely capable of overcoming your limiting beliefs. It is okay. If you have a big, juicy ego, we all do. It's not even your ego. It's just the ego that we were all born with. It's just part of the fucking brain. Same as your body. You're just born in a human body. You're born with a human brain. It's not personal. You think it's personal. You think you're some special extra, fucked up. You're not. You're just a human being trying to do your best. And I'm saying that to all of you. You are all doing a good job. I know it doesn't always feel like that. I know sometimes it might feel like I'm attacking you or I'm attacking your ego or I'm having a go at you or something. I promise you're doing a good job. I promise your fears, your insecurities, your jealousies, all of that is okay. I promise you're all going to fucking make it.